Hey everyone, I'm Zephyr, and this is the first episode of my new After Effects intro series. In this series, I will be breaking down the process of creating intros for my clients. This first intro was made for MVM Archer, and it looks like this. Alright, let's get started. I invite you to follow along with this process on your copy of After Effects. Now let's start by making a new composition. I'm going to choose this setting right here. I like this aspect ratio and this frames per second. The background color doesn't matter, and the duration should be around 15 seconds to give us a little bit of space. Click OK, and you have a new composition. Now what I'm going to do is just follow what I did in the old intro. Now the first step I want to take you through is the background. The background is very simple. It's just a simple background that I use if I don't feel like doing a special background. So right click in the layer panel, click new, and go to solid. All you want to do is click make comp size, and that's all you need. Now click OK. Now go up to effect, and I believe it is generate. Generate. And ramp. Now what you want to do here is choose the start color and end color, and these should be similar to what we have in the other composition. So I'm going to choose something that looks pretty close and kind of a lighter red. How about that? Change this to radial ramp, and that will make it a round gradient rather than the linear gradient. Now if you see up here there's a little anchor point, just move that down to the middle. Now if we look back here, we see that we have it reversed. This is the lighter spot and this is the darker spot, and our colors are way too light. So let's make this darker and make this a little bit lighter. Okay, it's looking a little bit more like it. Now we want to move the end of the ramp up a bit. So if we look back here, it's still a little bit darker. Let's choose this. Go down a bit. That's actually very, very close, so we're going to leave it right there. Alright, so we have the background now. Now that we have a background, we need a couple of different materials. As you can see in the intro, we have both a target and an arrow. I made these actually with Photoshop. The target I got from, let me just switch to Photoshop here. The target I got from a stock image online, and I basically just filled in all these spaces with black so that it would look like this. It's a fairly low quality, but it actually worked for the intro's purposes. Now the arrow I actually got from downloading a arrow shape pack for Photoshop. If you go to the shape tool right here, it basically has several options up here. These arrows are from a pack that I downloaded for free online. So I liked probably this one, and I just added it there, made it into a PNG file, both of them saved as PNGs, because that allows for this transparency, and then I just imported them. So if we go back to After Effects, you just go to File, Import, File, choose the files that you want, and you're pretty much good to go. Actually it's right here. So I've got these files. I already have them imported, but I would usually just choose arrow and then outline of easel and click open. But since I have them already, let's go and get working. So to get started, we're just going to move the outline and arrow and just copy them in. And we're going to move the arrow over here and this target right here. And we're gonna make the target a little bit smaller according to the size that's here. So even a tiny bit smaller. Hold shift while doing this so that it scales it perfectly, because otherwise you can skew it. So if you hold shift, it won't get skewed. Yeah, so that's a nice tip. So put it around here, and then the arrow we need to rotate. So transform, rotation. Actually, that's the wrong thing. We want to go to the arrow here, transform, rotation, and move this. Perfect. Kind of aim it there. We'll deal with that a little bit later. As you can see in the beginning of the clip here, the target moves like this. So the way to make the target move like that is to open up this box, and what we're going to do is we're going to descale it a bit down to about 0. Press scale, move forward to whatever time, and scale it back up to the 42.8% it is. Something to notice is that there will be a link right here. You need to unclick that so that it doesn't move together. Alright, so we've got that effect going, and that was pretty easy. Now what we want to do is add the text for the arrow, and it's pretty simple. Just paint Gothic, whatever font you want, and Archer is the guy's name. And let's move it up here. This can be, let's lock this. MVM can be a little bit larger, and we need to rotate both of them. So about there, looks okay. And then MVM, rotate it a little bit. Whoops. Just eyeball it so it looks even. Alright, now what we want to do is move it all together. Unlock this. Move, well, the MVM probably needs to be a little bit closer to it. There we go. Let's move it all up here. And to animate it, we're just going to press P so that we see the position here. Move this back a little bit. Press the keyframe. Move this forward. Move it forward. And then finalize it. That's pretty much it. It's probably way too slow. So let's move it to here. Cool. Let's preview it. Not bad. Alright, and now what we want to do is the final step, and this is a little bit harder. And this is that little movement that you see. As you can see, the target is moving backwards, and then it zooms in like this. So to do that effect, it's a little bit haphazard, but it worked for the intro I did. So whatever works, works, and you can use it. So just make a new camera. Go to Layer, New Camera, Camera 1, great stuff. Open it up to Transform. And we're just going to copy from here the same settings. Just move here. We'll animate position. We will add another keyframe here, and we will copy over the position so that the camera does this effect. As you can see, we moved the arrow way too far because it goes through in this camera. Now in the camera we add another keyframe, and we're going to do the same thing here. Two things changed. So that will move it right here. The problem obviously is we need to select 3D for all this stuff so that it all is seen in 3D space. And what we want to do is, you can see that the arrow is not where it should be. Once again, I remember having this problem. You know what? I'm not gonna bother with that, since it's really irrelevant. Just move it so that it kind of just touches it barely. What I just want to show you is, I want this black to extend out the screen, so I'm going to move right here. I'm going to go to the outline. I'm going to add a keyframe, and this next frame I want it to be a lot bigger, okay? And yeah, I want it to scale like that, maybe even sooner, okay? And the purpose for this is that it'll fill up the screen. And then I want to animate the position as well and move it this way. Of course, the scale still needs to be worked on. Okay. It's a lot of work to try to get it right, but I think if I just move the camera not this way but this way, zoom in, it'll work. So let's check it. Okay, it's obviously not as good of a job as the original, and it's a bit too sudden here, but you kind of get the idea. You just play around with the settings and it'll eventually look smoother. So that's basically the way I went about it. I'm sorry if you got a little bit lost there, or you're OCD and you don't like seeing this kind of thing right here. But the point of this series is to show you how I got to it, not necessarily to show you a perfect replica of the intro. Alright, I hope this helped you guys, and please comment and let me know if this series is actually helpful, if I should stop or if I should continue. And give it a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe for future tutorials. Thank you very much.